what I want to say referring to morality.
Yeah, I agree with you that if someone is telling you that this is immoral, then you are not necessarily a good person because of that. So, yeah, good point on that.
In a moment, we are going to hear from Miss Nee, a current world history high school teacher. She's going to help us answer the question about how moral codes are different in different countries throughout the world.
Well, today, take the United States, for example. This country values individual rights, especially gay rights, whereas Russia, where the Olympics is going to be held in the next couple of weeks, has absolutely outlawed gay rights and any discussion over gay rights. In the Muslim world, women are not afforded equal rights as men, but in this country, obviously, we have equal rights for men and women. Women in this country enjoy the privileges of driving and voting and so forth, just as men do.
Does society have a right to judge someone's morals?
The question of moral relativism has always been a problem. Is our way the absolute right way? Is there an absolute right? Is there an absolute wrong? And I think that overall there is, but there are sometimes exceptions when someone must break the law, for example, to fulfill a greater need for themselves or their family. And also, other cultures and other time periods had different standards that they abide by when we look at right and wrong.
I agree with her. Russia doesn't believe in gay rights, and Muslims don't really give women the same respect as men do. And America is I'm a bit biased here because I live in America, but America is more respectful of gay people and women. Women have equal rights with men now, and we're slowly accepting gay marriage, and I think in a few years gay marriage will be passed throughout America.
All right, Zach, what are your opinions on this matter?
I think there should be equal equality for gays and people with different sexual beliefs, and throughout the world, I think everyone should be equal. I mean, but on the other hand, just to play the devil's advocate, sort of, Russia should be able to decide what they want to do. We aren't Russia; they are their own country. That's not what I believe, but that's another opinion because we're going on one particular side overall as this group.
All right, so what do you guys think about the absolute right and wrong? Like, is there an absolute right and wrong? And if so, what is it? So, Zach, what do you think?
This is, for me, a very difficult moral question because it really brings up where do you draw the line between something that's so atrocious to humanity that it should never, ever happen under all circumstances, or when is something acceptable under the worst circumstances? And personally, I don't really have an answer to this question because it is something where we never really want to think about where you would draw the line. It's really one of those things where if you're forced to make a decision like that, what you would choose at that point in time.
Well, I think that there isn't an absolute right and wrong because it really depends. See, right and wrongs fluctuate depending on your situation. Say, if you had the decision to kill one person, to hurt one person instead of hurting a large group, say America, losing one life, I know this is bad, but is more than losing millions of lives.
So, in my opinion, if we distinguish the difference between right and wrong, then there's no real way to actually do that, because there is nothing written in the stars saying that we can't kill another person. It's basically what we feel inside or what we learn to evolutionarily to do, which is not to kill our own species, not to kill our family, not to kill our friends. So I think that really sums it up for the dispute between what is right and wrong.
Candace Cohen, a health teacher from Scarsdale High School, is a very straightforward and animal-loving person. She's going to tell us a story of how she saved a dog's life from their abuser.
I remember about 10 years ago walking in Larchmont in the park that goes along the Sound. And there was a man there with a puppy, and he was trying to teach the puppy how to swim. and he kept throwing it into the water, and it was very hard for the dog to get out. The rocks were very steep and very slippery, and it was a very young dog. And I stopped him, and I said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I'm teaching it how to swim." And I said, "That's not how you teach a dog how to swim. It's cruelty, and it's wrong." And I stopped him.
How do parents impact their children's immoral / moral code?
I think that the most important thing that parents do about that is the way they live their lives. I think that kids see how parents behave, and if parents say one thing and do another, they totally lose the kids. The parents have to walk their talk, tell their kids what's moral, and then live a moral life.
So, after listening to Candace's recording, which of you have or had pets? So, how would you feel if someone abused your animal? And what do you think should happen to them if they did?
Well, if I saw someone hurting or intentionally trying to hurt my dog, I would go up to them and tell them to stop, obviously. And I would try to tell some kind of higher power, like the police, even though they couldn't really do anything, because there's really no reprimand for animal abuse. I would want some kind of rule for that in the future, maybe, but right now there's no rule for hurting animals.
So, do you think that it's immoral to hurt an animal?
Oh yeah, definitely, because animals are living creatures such as us. So it would be like, say, if we were other animals' pets and they were hurting us.
Do you think that the act of owning a pet in itself is immoral because you're essentially enslaving them?
Well, since you put it that way, I guess pet owners are, in a way, slave owners with pets, since some pet owners just use their dogs for guard dogs and they don't even love their pets. But other people, they have a relationship with their dog. Their dog is part of their family. So in certain aspects, some pets could be slaves, but others could be family members.
I guess the point Johnny made earlier about dogs or pets being slaves, I guess it's kind of true, but like if you consider your dog your companion or a friend, like they live in your house, you feed them, and they're your friend. It's not like you're forcing them to do anything. They're just your buddy. They sit around there. You're allowing them to do what they want. And like maybe if like their dog goes on the street, you're saving them from other options, or you're helping them with their health, or you're improving their lifestyle.
So if you're saying that taking away their freedom, quote unquote, would be like good or like a friendly act?
Well, it's not taking away their freedom. It's like if they were already previously, like, for example, a dog abandoned on the streets. Would you consider that dog free? They're almost dying on the streets. And, I mean, I guess technically they're more free than being locked up in your house. But in which case do you think the dog would be happier?
I would definitely think that a dog would be happier inside of a house. So I guess that you are right in that point. So Pat, now that we have discussed morality and different crimes that people can commit, how do you think crime plays a role in The Stranger?
Crime and morality play a big role in The Stranger, because some crimes in The Stranger never were dealt with. For example, Merceau's neighbor who beat his dog was never reprimanded for that. He never had to go to jail or get a fine or something because of it, even though he's hurting a living thing that has feelings and knows what he's doing. And he just doesn't, like, that crime doesn't get dealt with.
Yeah, I think another important aspect of The Stranger is a part when Merceau murders an innocent Arab at the beach. And I think that the fact that he is an existentialist, meaning that he does not have a god or he has no set moral code, plays a role in his decision to kill the Arab. Because if Merceau did have a moral code, then I think that would stop him from killing the Arab, or at least a conscience that would say, no, don't kill that innocent man.
Great, Morley, great, Morley, great, Morley, great.
Colorful stories!